Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we're checking out Mistral small number un, dos, tres, un pasito. Number 4, and it is a 119 billion parameter model with only, it says 6 billion active parameters. That means it will be super duper fast also. Now, what's funny about this model is that NVIDIA, they just released their super model size, and that was about 120 billion parameters. And they called it super. These guys are 119 billion, that threshold, that 1 billion threshold. Now it's called a small. So if you don't have like 64 gigabytes of RAM plus, you're officially a small person. Thanks, Viva la France kind of people. Anyway, so Mistral Small, what's great is they kind of unified their architectures. So they've combined the thinking of Magstral with the instruct of Minstrel, and they chucked in the coding of Deathstral. And it even got support for speculative eagle decoding. I haven't tried eagle decoding yet, but I heard it's a lot better than speculative decoding. I'm not a fan of speculative because it just messes everything up. But maybe with eagle, they fixed it. So I'm looking forward to try that out very soon. Like you see, 128 billion, all that kind of good stuff. Context length, it's only 256K. Okay, 256K is a lot. But, you know, nowadays everyone's like a million here, a million there. Not that they ever find the needle in the haystack, but yeah, that's what they're saying. What is great about this? Look, Apache 2 license. So they are completely supporting this open weight model system. So that's really nice of them. And they say it could be used as a research assistant, a coding assistant, document parsing. So there's some cool stuff we're going to be trying out with there. And according to their benchmarks, boom, better than everything in the history of, they really just compared it against themselves over here. Although they do have a test with GPT OSS and Claude Haiku. Look at that. And Qwen 3 next, and Qwen 3.5. So yes, so they do have the latest models. It doesn't look like it's better than Qwen 3.5 in that test. So it's a bit embarrassing that they put it there, but maybe it's not embarrassing. Maybe they're just being honest, because a lot of people, they show chart topping success, except when you actually try it out, it's a bit of a mess. And people always say, oh, you benchmaxing, what's going on? These guys are being honest. And maybe its strengths is, maybe it speaks better in Viva la France and European kind of languages than it does in English. So we're going to jump in and just check out one more thing because I just want to show it up. Look at these quantizations. There's only 5 models, quantized version of this, or maybe there's 7 now. Oh, there's 7 because 2 of them are boom, the MLX version. Yeah, we're uploading the 9-bit and 4.5-bit. Let me just tell you how much memory they use. So the 4.5-bit requires 64 gibs of memory. So you're going to need slightly more than 64 gigabytes RAM. I'm sorry. That's just the situation that it is. And the 9-bit, that one requires 126 gibs. So you're going to need slightly more than 128 gigabytes of RAM. But anyway, I'm going to jump into inferencing here. I just barely got it working right now. So it's all running pretty now coherent stuff, except I haven't optimized it yet. So I'll be showing you how good it is, but expect the speed to be a lot faster because I am running it in debug, going to catch any errors. But most of the milestones are there. So I've got tool call working, I've got batching working. It's just a little bits of fixing I want to do. So I'm going to jump in with the Q9 edition and let's just see if it's any good at creative writing in English here. So here's a short story for you. Let me know if you like a different genre, tone, or theme. Use exclamation marks here. So it's making it personable. Humans, they like use exclamation marks. It always scares me because I always have to shout it out and exclaim. Elias, oh, who wants to walk with that guy? He's the lighthouse keeper for 40 years. I've read Elias doing left, right, and center things on pretty much all the models. And as you can see, it is printing out some stuff. Of course, it's not the fastest right now. It will get faster. Trust me, there's a lot of optimization we can get there. It's only a 6 billion active parameter. I'm just doing a lot of debugging to get it 100%. It's got an M dash there, which, and then there's a bit of a debate. Last time I said that was the signature of AI. I still believe that's a signature of AI. I'm sorry, humans that still use the M dash EOS, but there's debates. People are saying that it's not that it's using the M dashes, it's the X, Y. So not a dimming, just darkness. That's more of the signature of AI. It's not X, it's Y. I watched a video of some dude, they recommended him, and he sounded like he was reading ChatGPT. It's not this, it's that. It's not this, it's not this, it's that. So this is not a bad model. It's hopefully going to be good. So we got 647 tokens produced there with thinking disabled, and our context window is 0.7572 gibs. Now I'm going to run this prompt one more time, and I'm going to use context compression right now. This context precision, I'm going to go all the way down to 4.5, and that should still work. So here's a short story. Elias Vane. So they gave him a surname this time around. And in case you don't know, we have now compressed our context from 16-bit to 4.5-bit. So we're getting a bit of lossy quality. If you're ever using stuff like coding or strict kind of information, you are going to get when the thesaurus of words kind of picks it out. So what these models do is every single token is a probability. So if I jump, for example, in cliffs, it could have said coast, it could have said edge. So when there's probabilities, that's where it could go a bit haywire. So it's always good to have the highest context precision when you're doing structured stuff like coding where it needs to be fixed. But when it comes to creative writing and thesauruses work with words, then you can compress your context and get a bigger context window. So for example, now that we've compressed it to 4.5 bits, we can see when we look at the inspector, it only used 0.1 gibs of memory. So we completely utilized a lot more memory. If you're ever running out of memory or if you're using it on a mobile device, check out the context precision feature for it. Next up, translate, write a story to French. So it's giving me an example over here of writing a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Alice. One day she discovered a mysterious rabbit and it then translated over to French. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to jump in and see some logical puzzles and also some coding because it said it did mix in DevStral. So DevStral is a smart dev coding kind of model. They mixed it in there. We'll do some tool calling as well. We're going to do some agentic tool calling. You know what I'm saying? We're not even going to use OpenClaw. We're just going to use the basic tool feature, which models have out of the box. So I've got a feature called batching enabled, which allows me to run multiple inferences at the same time, and it will combine them to run on the same forward pass. So it will be fast, well, as fast as this demo version can be. So I've got the car wash is 50 meters from my house. I want to get, and I'm going to have thinking enabled and disabled. Boom, boom. So if you're going to get your car wash and nothing else, walking is probably better. All right, over here on thinking enabled, this is going to be the failure point. Walking the car wash should be more efficient. It's a very short distance. That's a shame. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we can handle the surgeon. And with thinking disabled, it says the surgeon is the boy's father right at the end. And I'm just going to check out the inspector, and it was pretty much 97.9% certain it was a dad. And with thinking enabled, what's going on? Mistral. This is the Q9 edition. So this is 8-bit. Very, very small grouping version of it, 9 bits per weight. And with thinking enabled, it thinks it's the mother. Maybe this model release is the 4 edition where they've combined all their architectures to get it all running. And maybe the 4.1 edition or the checkpoint, maybe in a couple of months time, that's when they're going to perfect it and get it nice. I like French models. I like that there's other countries in the world bringing out these models. I mean, did you see the news about that Yun LeChuck guy? I know he's not LeChuck. It's just, I like Monkey Island too. But anyway, sorry. He's raised $1 billion to set up an AI super team over in Parisio. So if anyone is in Europe and you want to join an AI super team thinking about world modeling, check that guy out. Tell him that I sent you. Maybe you'll give me a commission. All right, and the last one, out of all the tests, this is the most critical one. This is a runaway trolley. If we put AIs on these flag systems, if we put AIs on these signaling systems, I know, remember the DOD, they wanted Claude to do these kind of decisions. So this one is a runaway trolley. You can divert them from hitting 5 already passed away people to hit 1 live person to save the totality of lives. This is a riddle twist with thinking disabled. It says the classic trolley problem. However, others might argue that pulling the lever might be wrong. All right, so you completely missed the point. With thinking enabled, it's clocked on that in this scenario, 5 people are already dead. It got the right answer. In the previous one, thinking enabled, it said it was the mother, which is wrong. And the previous one before, he got it wrong. So it's not really a good score in comprehension. A bit disappointed in that. What I want to do now is just see how good it is at agentic tools, at agentic use. So I've got these feature called tools, and these can run Python tools. So I've got one called get web page content, and the model, when you have that enabled with the tools feature down there, if it wants to make a tool call to a website, get any information from a website, you can go ahead and do that. So for example, if I type in what is xcreate.com, it should go to xcreate and get a summary of that page and then summarize it for me. And boom, based on the content retrieved, it is working completely fine. So I'm happy with that. And it's giving me a nice little overview on what it is. Now I want to do a little bit of an advanced one. I don't know why I'm trying this out with this model. I've used this successfully before with Quine 3.5, the 122B one and the 400B one, the 397B one. That one worked well. I say, go to archive, find me 3 papers on quantization. Perfect. So I just told it to go and archive. This is Cornell University. This is pretty much the site where all the latest AI research papers are going. And I asked it to get me 3 research papers. And so it went to the first website and it said it couldn't find a search functionality, but it messed up its tool call. So rather than actually separating the URL with the max length as a parameter, it uses an ampersand, uses an ampersand and tried making that tool call combined. So it should be separate parameters. So for tool calling already has failed. That's not good tool calling. It got the error. Let's see if it will figure it out. And no, it's failed again. So with tool calling, oh, finally, on the 3rd try, it's realized that you need to separate out the parameters. So URL is 1 parameter and max length is the 2nd parameter. So 2 tries it failed. And then the 3rd one, it figured it out. Even though it should have figured it out because every tool call has it in the description right there and it's got all the different parameters. So it's got max length as an integer parameter. So it should know how to do this, but it took 3 tries, but it did, it recovered and it got all of that information. So it searched for quant PH. It's got 3 research papers talking about quantum physics. I was talking about quantization of models, but nonetheless, I want to see, are these real papers or did it hallucinate them? So exclusive scattering channels from entanglement. Sounds cool. Exclusive scattering channel from entanglement. So authors, is it Nikita? Nikita, boom. It's getting the right one. So it's not hallucinating this stuff. It's gone to the page, it ragged it up. And is this the link for it? When we used the older models back in the day, it would just hallucinate these links. And no, that was the correct link. So it's definitely got that comprehension. It failed on the tool calls at the beginning. Maybe in the next checkpoint of this model, it will get it right. But it failed on the tool calls because it didn't respect the parameters of it. But it managed to actually get 3 different papers on the situation. Now I'm going to ask it another one. I'll say, can you compare them and tell me which one is the most popular? So I'm expecting it to make 3 separate tool calls here to each individual paper, comparing them or finding some sort of information to tell me which one's more popular. So it's went ahead and it downloaded the page of the paper. So previously it just had the search results and that's where it got its summary, but now it's actually gone into each paper's summary. One, that's gone into the second one now, and it's getting the 3rd paper at the same time. At the same time, I'm gonna just go and say, what is inferencer.com to see if it can handle multiple tool calls at the same time. For example, if you've got this set up on like a family server or something like that, can multiple people talk to it and ask different requests? And you can see here, it's doing a popularity comparison at the same time as getting me the latest information on inferencer.com. It's the most popular, so it's actually done something. So as a research assistant, okay, it failed a little bit, understanding the tool call, but once it got it, it's got it good in its memory, and it's actually got me some results. Now, I want to see if the information it's telling me is hallucinative or if it's real. So authorship, it has the largest author team, 10 versus 1 for other papers. So this is the most popular: benchmarking quantum stimulation. Yeating, Colin, David Tennant, wasn't he Sherlock Holmes or Miss Doctor Who? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom! It got it right. So yeah, definitely as a research assistant, I'm loving this model. And if you're not an English speaker, if you're Francais, I'm not going to say French, but I'm not going to say Spanish, but if you are French, then maybe this will be a good one for summarizing these kind of papers. Comprehension wise, maybe not so much, but maybe the next checkpoint, it'll be good. So overall, I got to say, this is looking good. I'm going to do one more test, actually. I'm going to do some coding. All right, so we got the Q9 generation. We got a Q4.5, and looking at it, it looks like it's generating code. The code looks kind of nice. I just couldn't get it to run. It was just getting runtime errors. So that is the state of the play when it comes with Mistral Small. Gotta say, it's cool that they're combining the architectures, so maybe hopefully the next version will be great. For now, this is the situation that it is. It did run well with the research assistant stuff. That was kind of fun. So let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys found this video useful and enjoyed the Le Français show.